Hello, this is Bill Webb, aka Billy Indiana. Today we're going to do an unboxing for one of my latest Kickstarter arrivals. It is Kemet, Blood and Sand, plus all the expansions. So let's check it out. So here are the two main boxes that came. We've got the Book of the Dead expansion and the main box for Blood and Sand. And this is going to be kind of a reboxing unboxing. Unfortunately, the first time I recorded this, the sound kept cutting in and out, so I must have had a loose connection somewhere. And so we're redoing it, but it's already been sorted. So maybe it'll help you understand how it sorts when you put it back in the box. Although I wouldn't promise I have everything sorted correctly, but hopefully it's reasonably well sorted. So let's start with the expansion first, actually. So we'll slide this out of the way. And this is the Book of the Dead. And this isn't necessarily what came in this box originally because I don't actually remember once I got it all out and started sorting it. But I do know part of the Kickstarter was these game up boxes, and they were for some of the expansions that came with the Kickstarter. So here is the Book of the Dead rulebook. It's a smaller rulebook with just the basic idea of what the new components are and what the special rules are for the expansion, with the explanation of what the new tiles do, and then some more information on the different tiles and their functions. So that's the rule book. And then there are these special tiles that go in place of some of the tiles in the base game if you're using some of these expansions. So I can put some of these underneath the close-up camera, but there's some emerald ones for the new great old ones, and then there's some black ones to replace for some of the expansion features again, then the blue ones for the sandworm, and then the red ones for the bull, and then the white ones again to replace for one of the expansions. And I don't exactly know yet. I haven't had a chance to play it since I got it or even read the rules yet. It's still pretty new, but I know somehow they go with the Sacred Bull, the Sandworm, the great old ones, and then these are just the obelisks. So on the board, you still got the image of the obelisks, but now in the Kickstarter, you could also get these three-dimensional obelisks to put on the board. So that was what one of these boxes is for, and I can show you that under the close-up as well. And then another one of these game up boxes. This one is for the Sacred Bull. And again, I can show you these miniatures underneath the close-up camera, but that's the Sacred Bull just very quickly. And then we've got the Sandworm. Kind of reminds me of Dune. I think the Sandworm in the Dune game is very similar. So some people online posting their paintings of the Dune Sandworm, and I thought for a second they were showing this one. And then the great old ones, there's actually two, the Cthulhu. And then I'm not sure what this one is called. So maybe some of you know, you can post it in the comments if you know the name of this one. But again, I can put these under the close-up camera. Here's the Cthulhu one. And hopefully you can see it reasonably well on this camera, but I can also put it under the close-up camera as we start looking at those a little bit more. So those are the primary things that come in that Book of the Dead expansion. Let me show you some of these on close-up, and then we'll get into the big box. And then here's a little bit closer up picture of these other miniatures. So let's take a look at this big one first. We've got the Cthulhu miniature here. You can see the tentacles coming out of the face and the texture in the wings. Spin it over here. The spines in the back, the bones showing through. So that is one of the great ones. I'll set it off to the side here a little bit. This is the bull. And then here is the sandworm. And then here's the other great old ones creature. Some of you that are into more of the mythology and this kind of creature can probably tell me in the comments what this one's called. All right, so those are the miniatures that came with the expansions and the game up boxes. So here are the expansion tiles that came in, and you can see there's a couple of white ones, a couple of red, a couple of blue, and a couple of onyx or black, and then the 4 great old ones that come in with these expansion parts. You can see the bull here, you can see the sandworm here, and then the great old ones with the Cthulhu, and then this other creature. I'm not exactly sure what's new here in these black tiles or what's new here in these white tiles in terms of how they factor in or what you would replace or why, because I haven't had a chance to read through all the rules, but those are the new tiles that come with those expansion creatures from the Book of the Dead. All right, so let's crack open the big box, the main game board and components for Blood and Sand. Inside we've got player books with all of the different tiles, what their functions are. So you can see we've got the ruby level here, and the sapphire for the blue, and the diamond for the white, and the onyx for the black. And then we've got an explanation of the intervention, divine intervention cards. And then we've got the emerald tiles here. And then there's some other information about the expansion. We've got the emerald level divinity and emerald level great old ones. And then these are the renewal power tiles. I assume these, yeah, it looks like these show you how and when to put in these. It says if you play with the game up the Sacred Bull or game up the Sandworm, that's when you use these. And so shows you there how to plug those in. And there's 5 of these, so each player can have their own instead of having to pass that around, like used to be the case in the original Kemet, at least the version I had. And then here is the main rule book. So again, you can see the layout explaining the components and what the functions of all the different tiles are, how you set the game up, and then what the gameplay is. So a couple pages of gameplay, and then how you end it, night phase, and then a glossary of a bunch of different keywords here and explanations. And then we've got just a table of contents and credits on the back. All right, and then we've got this is some kind of a scoring board or turn order board or something. I think it is for one of the expansions or an expansion. I'm not exactly sure. I have to, again, look through the rulebook to see what the function of this is. And then I think this is for the Great Old Ones. It was in the Great Old Ones box, or the Book of the Dead box. And so I think it's maybe an expansion to that. It looks like you still got the different factions here. So again, not exactly sure what the function is. We've got some art on the back. The other one just says Kemet, Blood and Sand on the back. So those are tracking tiles of some sort. And then depending on the player count, you also, I think, cover up different portions of the board. And so we've got some kind of a sandstorm tiles here that you can use to cover up parts of the board if you're playing with fewer people. And then we have the game board here. Let me go ahead and try to lay this out on the table after we've shown a few more things so you can see it stretched out. And then here's one of the key features in this newer version is they've got these nice tiles, and there's a cover for the top one. I don't know if you can see it in here, but it says Kemet kind of engraved on the top, which is nice. But then there's the 5 tile trays. And so here you can see the diamond or white tiles all nicely held together in this tray. And then here are the red or ruby, I think it was, tiles all held together in their tray. And then we've got the sapphire, I think, the blue. And it's by level too, I'll show you on this one. Then we've got the onyx or the black. And so if you look underneath the tile, that shows you it's level 4. And then under this one, level 3 and level 2 and level 1. So they're helping you kind of figure out how they go in order. But really nice to be able to pass those around and look at them if you're trying to figure out what to use, what to take. And then here is for the new emerald, the green ones. All right, so let's take a look at these player boards. We've got the black player board here, and these have that dual layer, so it's nice recessed for, forget if it's inspiration or prayer or something like that that fits there. And then underneath here you can see the red one too. These are also recessed, so the little tiles that go in that bottom level of the pyramid also recessed. Here's the yellow, here's the blue, and then here is the green. Now underneath you can also see each of the different colors has their own bag. So this wajette, if that's how you pronounce it, that goes with this green player board. You can see the art on silk screen on the bag matches the art here on the player tile. And there's another one here for Anubis for the black. And then here's one for Sobek for the blue. And then here's one for Horus, the red. And then here's one for Bastet, the yellow. And then down underneath here we've got the cards. I think these might be replacement cards. There may have been some corrections or misprints or something. And then these are the original, if I'm not mistaken. Either that or these are expansion of some sort, like promo cards. I can't remember. And then these are the battle cards that you use. So those are down there in the bottom. And then over here, this is a nice little feature. We've got this cool little box here, kind of a game trays feature. And we can see inside this little sheath, we've got all the tiles, the different scoring victory point kind of tiles here that come inside of this. And so you can easily just pass the tray around to share those tiles and make them easily available. And then underneath that, we've got all the miniatures. So now let's go to the close-up camera and show you some of these features a little bit in more focus and a little bit closer up. All right, so here you can see the close-up of what comes in the bag. I picked the wajette, or however you say that, the green faction since it's new. The pyramids, instead of being dice, four-sided dice that you flip and roll, come in levels. So this one's set up to all 3 levels, and you can see the colors just indicated by the little piece you put in top. This one's just up to 2 levels. This is at a single level, and then here's like the second level for that third one, and then the top 2 for the other. And you can see there's the green and the white and the black and the red. They go on the top to tell you to which level, which color each leveled pyramid is. These are those obelisks that come, the 3D obelisks that come on instead of just only seeing the images on the board itself. You can see obviously the troops. I just put a few of them out here, and then the different scoring and tracking tiles. And then these, I believe, are to show which pyramids you're activating. So there's the blue color and the yellow and the red, and the green and the black. So there's just little tiles, and I believe those are just to help you track again which pyramids are in play and not in play. Again, haven't read all the rules for the Blood and Sand expansion, but that's basically what comes in the bag. And it isn't in the bag originally, but you can sort it into the bag so that when you pull out for green player, you've got all of these pieces and parts right in the bag ready to go for each color. All right, so here you can see, just leaving the green ones out there for comparison and showing the black and the blue and the red and the yellow, so you can see the different troop shapes for each of the characters. I don't think there's any need to dump out the contents of all the bags, but just wanted you to see how the different sculpts look for each of the different troops. They are different for every color. So let's take a look at the miniatures now. Here are a few of them. You can see this is a 2-piece one. We got some sort of crazy serpent creature here that has 2 tiles, and I'm not exactly sure how the 2 tiles function, why there's 2, but I imagine it has something to do with gameplay as well as aesthetics. And we've got this creature, not exactly sure what creature it is. It's been a while since I've played Kemet. And then we've got this one, looks like her staff is a little bent there. His or her, not sure again what this one is either. I have to review in the rules what the names of all of these different beasts and creatures are. Some of them are the same, like I remember the elephant for sure being in the original Kemet. And the Sphinx, I remember for sure being in the original. All right, let's take a look at a few others. Here are the final 6. We've got, I think these are called griffins, if I remember correctly. Kind of a cat/eagle sort of combination there. And then we've got the stag beetle. You can see there's a troop person sitting on top of these. And then we've got the scorpion. And then another kind of a serpent. And you can see the army troop character on top. And then some kind of a flying bird here. I don't see a troop on top of this one, so maybe it has a different role in the game. And then another one here. All right, so those are all of the miniatures that come in Kemet Blood and Sand. All right, before we give our closing, here is the game board. You can see it's hard to get in one shot, but you can see the texture here, the different places. You can see these obelisk features are here on the board and show some directions for movement, so you can put the 3-dimensional ones on there if you want. So that is the game board, the front side. There is a nice piece of art. It's not a reversible board. If I remember correctly, the first one was reversible. But on the back of this one, we just got a nice work of art showing some of the features here of gameplay, or that would reflect the theme of the gameplay. So there you have it. This is what comes in the Kickstarter version of Kemet Blood and Sand, with all the expansions and all the extra Kickstarter stretch goals and other features and the game up expansions. Hopefully this was enjoyable for you to watch through and understand not only what comes in the box, but I guess maybe as kind of almost a reboxing, see how at least I've sorted the things out. Looking forward to finally getting to the rule book here soon so I can see how it plays different and be reminded. It's been so long since I've played Kemet. I'm excited to be reminded about how the game works and how it's now changed in this new version. I never had played Kemet with any of the original expansions, and I know some of those expansions are part of this rework in the Blood and Sand version. So I'm excited to learn how those change the base game, and really love all the nice Kickstarter features with the new miniatures and the trays especially, and the double layer boards. Lots of really cool features. So hopefully this was enjoyable. If it was, please click on that like button down below, and it would be terrific if you'd subscribe to the channel. If you have comments, questions, please leave those down below. I'd love to interact with you in that comment section. As always, thanks for watching. This is Billy, Indiana, signing off.